Example 1, Larry invests $100 in a savings plan. The plan pays 4.5% interest each year on his $100 account balance. How much will Larry earn in interest after 3 years and after 5 years? And how can you find the balance of Larry's account at the end of 5 years? So in this lesson, we're starting to introduce simple interest. Simple interest is something that you will encounter anytime you do have a savings plan or anytime you make an investment that pays a percentage of that out after a certain amount of time. So to do that, we use a formula, and this is going to be a formula that you have written in your notes and that you memorize. So the interest earned on an amount of money is the principal. Now the principal is the amount of money that you start with or you invest. We times that by the rate, and we multiply that by the time or the amount of time that we are investing our principal. So let's work through this first one. So let's change colors here. So we're going to calculate for 3 years. All right, so we need to identify what our principal is, what our rate is, and what our time is. So if we go up here, it says he invests $100. So that 100 is our principal. Our rate is the 4.5% interest each year. So I'm going to put 4.5% yearly. It's important that we put a time with this because we may not have something that pays out at the end of each year. Maybe it's after a certain amount of months. So it's important for us to know so we can make that work with our time. And so our first one, we're doing our 3 years. Now, in order to multiply with this, I need to change this 4.5% to a decimal. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. So I have 4.5%, which when I turn to a decimal is 0.045. So now that I've identified my 3 things, I'm going to substitute it into my formula, and we're going to solve. So interest is the principal, $100, times our rate of 0.045 per year for a time of 3 years. And you can use a calculator to multiply that. When we do, we get $13.50 would be the amount of interest we earn. All right, so our second one is after 5 years. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. Find our principal, our rate, and our time, which our principal doesn't change, our rate doesn't change, but our time is changing to 5 years. All right, so interest is 100 times our rate, 0.045, times our time of 5 years. We can use our calculator, and we get that our interest earned would be $22.50. Now, to find the balance up here, the balance of this account at the end of 5 years, we're going to take our principal, our $100, and we're going to add to it the amount of interest he earned. So after 5 years, our principal of $100 plus our interest earned, so his account balance would be $122.50. So let's make some connections with this and some of the things that we've talked about previously. If we were to take this and make a table of all of the amounts of interest he earned after every year. So in one year, the amount of interest earned would be $4.50. After 2 years, it would be $9. After 3 years, it would be $13.50. 4 years would be $18, and 5 years would be $22.50. So each year, this is increasing by $4.50. So as each year increases, the amount of interest he earns is $4.50. What happens if we were to graph this? When we graph this, we get this nice, pretty straight line. So after 1 year, it's $4.50. After 2 years, it's $9. So when we look at this example, we're looking at a proportional relationship. where that rate or the amount of increase for every year is $4.50. So if we were to find our K value or our constant of proportionality, that value would be the amount of interest earned after 1 year, or $4.50.